Peace to the gods. Peace to the gods. Peace to the gods. Yusufel here. All right. I know y'all been waiting, and I apologize for being late. I was supposed to get on at 1. I plan on being on every day at 1 o'clock. I picked that time. Just today I got called into a meeting when it over a little over than I wanted to, so I had to reset the time. So thank you for all of you who waited patiently for me to pop up on the air. I appreciate you. What we got in the chat? Let me get a mic check first. Mic check, mic check. Everybody, I'm a member of SPC University. I'm having trouble logging in. Let me just tell you something. Okay, I want y'all to understand something. The people we migrated over, you do not have the same password. You're going to have to reset your password, okay? If you haven't been migrated over, that's another issue if you're not getting in. But if you've been a long-term member of SPC University and you're trying to log in, your old credentials don't work. You still have the same user ID. You're going to have to reset your password to log in, okay? I hope everybody got that, all right? Okay, good. I sound loud and clear. Okay, good. But yeah, I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of customer service in probably the next 2 weeks because we just had this big migrational shift over to a new platform. It didn't go as smooth as I would like it to. I got a whole bunch of, customer service I'm going to be doing in the next 2 weeks. So just bear with me, okay? So it's rough. Anyway. Please don't keep asking me about it. I know there's a problem. I know. And this is not customer service. Do not come into the chat and say, I can't log in. Listen, I understand. All right, but this is not customer service. And I'm not a customer service representative. I'm here to give you impart some knowledge onto you. And we're going to go, but I'm going to take care of everybody. I promise you. I'm going to have everybody rolling because it is in my best interest to make sure that you can log in. All right. Now, let's get into a couple of things. I got a lot of things I want to talk about today. Obviously, I got the new website. I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to show y'all some of the features of the website. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can get that now. Kind of show y'all some features of the new SPC University. All right. Yep. Let's do it. All right. I want to start out by introducing you to the new. What'd I do? Oh, okay. Let me just come back to that. All right. Open this up real quick. And let's see if we can get a... All right. Okay, and one more thing, and I will be ready. Just give me just a second. And let me add this, and I will be ready to show y'all this. I was kind of rushing y'all. Y'all got to forgive me. Okay. What you're looking at now is the back office of the new SPC University. I am so happy. I am continuously making improvements to this back office. There's going to be a lot of different features that are being added. So right now you're just looking at it just at the bare minimum of what it can do. But trust me, you're going to be impressed with it. Okay, so right now I'm in the back office of a member. It's not the admin. My dashboard that controls everything looks different. So I'm using a dashboard of a member. Okay, so the first thing I want to introduce you to is your dashboard. Your dashboard is right over here on the left. You can click on that and it will pop out. And then you have your dashboard, okay? Now what the dashboard has, it shows how much money you're gonna have in your account, your commissions, total credits, basically, and total debits, how much money you have in, how much money you take out. You can, it's almost like a bank account. You can make withdrawals. There is a place on here for you to put your financial information, what bank account that you want your money deposited in, or whether you want to put it on a credit or whatever, that I'm going to have PayPal as well as, and I can't think of the names, Venmo, all of them, I'm going to be using. And I set this up so y'all can make a continuous commission. Everybody who is a member, okay? Everyone who is a member. And we'll go over, I'm not going to go into exactly how it works right now. However, it took me a long time to put this together, and I did it so, hey, you'll want to stay and you can keep making money, and you can build your business from here, as well as have some income to fund your business, or even, to just help with your regular lifestyles. You know how much I just got tired of people talking about discharging debt, and they trying to keep they trying to pay some rent, or they trying to keep a car from getting repossessed or something like that. Something like this is going to help you with all of those problems, trust me. All right, so right over here, this is the dashboard. It shows new members, new people as they sign up. They are listed over here. The earnings, the top earners, it will also show down here in the left hand box. And who actually was your sponsor? You have also a replicating website, a lead capture page. You can copy the link and you can put that in if you want to refer people, because there is a referral requirement. You're going to have to refer at least 2 people, all right, for you to qualify to receive a commission. All right. However, there is a replicating website with a referral link that you can click on, and it will produce a link. You can send it to anyone and they can sign up directly under you. All right. Also, let's go back out here. We got our networks. These are genealogy trees that show you people as they sign up, who's under you, and so forth. Basically like typical type things. Who you sign up and who's under you is not that important. As important, it's not like built like a pyramid where all the people at the top are making the money and the people are at the bottom are not. I don't have it set up like that. It's kind of like it's like a rotating susu. A never-ending susu. And the amount of money that you can make here is going to be ridiculous if you meet all the qualifications. All right, now right here, this is the academy. Now, when we get to the academy is where all of your coursework is at, okay? So, right here, it'll keep track of what courses that you've taken, what videos you've watched, keep track of your grades, because there are quizzes that come with every course. When I do a webinar, there's going to be a quiz after the webinar. The recording of the webinar will be available to you, and there's going to be a quiz with the webinar as well. I'm doing a webinar this weekend. It's Saturday. It's going to be the first one that we're going to do. I'm very excited about it. It would be in your best interest to be there, because I am investing a lot of time and energy and preparation for not only my webinars, but also my videos and so forth. But this keeps a track of that. Now, let's look at some of the videos. You're going to click under category, and the category is going to show you the different webinars. Okay, so like right here is the secured party webinar. And as you can see, it pops up on the screen. And I have the videos separated into different sections. You just click play right here, and it's going to pop up, and it's going to start playing. And after the video, there's a quiz button right here. You can click the quiz at the end. So once the video is over with, and if you watch, you click on quiz, and then you can take a quiz, all right? And take a quiz right after you watch each of the training videos on each one of the sections. It is designed to ensure that I do the questions myself personally. Sometimes they're trick questions. A lot of times I do questions where I just changed the grammar in the sentence to see whether or not you're paying attention to the grammar, or little light changes made to see how well you pay attention. You'd be surprised how many people use templates, and you read through the template and somebody went through and changed everything so it'll benefit the state instead of benefiting you. And because it was a template, you just read it and you just filled it out and didn't even read it and just submitted it to somebody. A lot of people do that. So I'm going to teach you a lesson if you are one of the people that you don't like to read things. All right. So this right here is the quiz. Okay. Let me see something. All right, there you go. All right, so right here, let's keep going. This is your e-wallet. Your e-wallet is where you request money. It's like an ATM, like a bank. All right, the money that you have in your account, you can transfer it to other people in the system. You can have it deposited into your bank account. There are a lot of various things you do. There is a code. It is coded, so you have to put in like a PIN code and actually to operate it. Once again, I'm making a video to show you how to do all this. I'm not showing you how to do it right now, but just kind of giving you an overview. All right. So your payouts also, how much money is paid out. You keep tracks of that, how much money you've made and how much money you paid out. Shopping is if I'm offering any products or anything. I don't have anything right there right now. And tools, all right? Now, this is download materials. The download materials are where you're going to find all of your documents that you're going to need, okay? These are all templates. I'm going through each one of these templates and I'm improving them. I'm making sure they are unique, that you won't be able to find them anywhere on the internet. I mean, when you read them, they real professional. They laid out. I'm going to have a lot of templates for pleadings put in here as well. So you won't have to go to the law library or anything like that. If you want to do a writ of mandamus or something like that, or, I'm going to have a template for that available to you as well. Okay. So you have your security agreements. And right now I've uploaded a lot of different templates. Basically right now, majority of the templates on here are for the secure party process, which we're going to be talking about today, but there'll be templates for various other things on here as well. All right. And as you can see, the templates that give a brief description of what the template is. It's already editable. It's already in a Word format. It's not in a PDF format. So you can download it and you can edit the template. All right. And all right, we also have the news. And the news, this is where you're going to find where I'm going to post things like the webinars and things like that. And the link will be right here. When there is a webinar, just come to your news, what's coming, and it's going to tell you. All right. And also frequently asked questions. I ain't put those in yet. But when we start getting some frequently asked questions, they will be there as well. And the mailbox. Now, I wanted to talk about the mailbox because I love the mailbox. Now, gone are the days where you have to email me through Gmail or anything like that. We have an internal mail system now. All right. Everything, I can watch it. Everything's just in one place. So if you need to have a question answered, and also I can email all the members simultaneously. But if you have a question or you need some help with something or something like that, you can email the admin, or you can email somebody else. You can email other members and things like that. All right. I really like that. And this is Is this the content management? Yeah, this is your content management where you can like when you get leads and things like that, when you're trying to recruit people, you can keep track of your leads and things of that nature, okay? We're going to be adding a cryptocurrency aspect to this too, because I am getting heavily into crypto. I'm in the process of doing that now as we speak. I'm learning as I go, but that's going to be added, as well as different denominations of currencies from all over the world, because I just got through traveling the world. I got listeners in Poland. I got listeners in London, and I got listeners, euros. I want the euros, the dineros, and the everything. All right. But this is to help you make money as well. And that's kind of a quick overview of it. I'm really like the academy is where you're probably going to be spending the majority of your time. This is where we're going to be creating all of the different coursework for you. Webinars are also conducted here. The recordings of the webinar, everything is professionally done. So, you'll be able to, and there's going to be question and answer, and I'm going to keep a grade of, your progress and so forth. I'm going to be having different speakers come in and teaching classes too. It won't just be just me. It's going to be people from various fields and experts, tax experts, business experts, real estate investment experts. It's going to a lot of things, because the purpose of this website is not just to teach you secured parties, to teach you business. Okay, because in becoming private, you need to have your own business. And I'm going to help you get that done. I'm going to help you get that done. And with that being said, that is just a quick overview, a real quick overview. Yeah, the way I'm doing this to make you think and to make you read and to, the webinars as we conducted them, they cool. But I want to do webinars where I can monitor your progress and see whether or not you're comprehending the material that's being presented to you, because I see a lot of people in my Facebook group. I got a Facebook group, and the things that I see posted in there is just ridiculous. And that's why we're going to talk about the five reasons why you should become a secure party today, because most people, they don't understand what a secure party is. They don't even understand what it is. They got all these different fanciful things in their mind, I think, about what they think a secure party is. And I've heard people say, well, that's secure party junk. How you know it's junk? You don't know it's junk. It takes 3 years to learn this information. You don't even know anything about it. Nothing. And it don't have anything to do with most of the things you think it does. It doesn't have anything to do with status correction. It doesn't have anything to do with nationality. It don't have anything to do with right to travel. It has one thing and one thing only. It deals with discharging debt, becoming a private banker, understanding negotiable instruments. And if you're not interested in understanding negotiable instruments or discharging debt or what entails to be a private banker, then this is not for you. Okay? It don't have anything to do with any of those things that you're talking about. We're talking about collateralizing your personal assets to give value to negotiable instruments that can be utilized in the public to offset public liability. That's all you're doing with this. All that other bullshit that y'all try to ascribe to it has nothing to do with it. And as a matter of fact, when you hear somebody talking like that, you know for a fact they haven't read it and they don't know anything about it. They're just one of those individuals who like easy processes. That's why the birth certificate authentication process is so popular, because it's easy. That's why they like the passport process, because it's easy. And they think by doing those processes in some kind of way that something has fundamentally changed in their situation, because they put all their stock in paperwork. And it's not about paperwork. It's about conduct. It's about form versus substance. Everybody in the public, in other words, actions speak louder than words. Fuck your paperwork. What are you doing? What are you doing? You think you're going to file some, this is what some of y'all think. You're thinking you're going to file some status correction paperwork and go out there and keep doing the same shit you was doing. You's a damn fool. And mad and start talking about, well, I got my paperwork. let me tell you something about privacy and another reason, one of the first reasons to become a secure party. As a matter of fact, I've already wrote this. I wrote something to kind of help me, to guide me through this. So I'm going to read this to you because I wrote it. Here we go right here. Is this it? Yeah, that's it right there. Okay. I'm writing this right now. I'm actually in the process of writing a book. And I think I'm going to include this in my book. But I've been writing this right now because I want you to understand the purpose of becoming a secure party. Okay, because a lot of people, I think they got a misconception about these processes of what it can accomplish, what it's for, and all of that. They just got these, crazy ass ideas about it. And it's called the Uniform Commercial Code. This is about business. It's all about everything that's going on in the public is about business. All that Donald Trump talks about is business for the United States, bringing business to the United States. I don't understand why people can't see that. So let's read this and let's go through it real quick. So what's the first reason in becoming a secure party? Well, one reason is so you can maintain privacy. One of the reasons so you can maintain privacy. Now, maintaining privacy is nothing exclusive to the secure party process. Many businessmen have been doing it for a long time. All the businessmen who know that put nothing in their name to put everything in their business name already understand this. They don't need to come to my course because they already understand it. They're already doing it. So in maintaining privacy, specifically what we're talking about is finding ways that you can move in the public without using the Social Security card. Now, I want to put an emphasis on moving in the public because if you are a truly private individual, there's no need for you to do a status correction. There's no need for you to send anybody any notices. There's no need for you to do anything like the Amish do. They are truly private individuals. They don't have any interaction with the government. Therefore, there's no need to do a status correction or nothing like that because they are self-sufficient. They don't want anything to do with them. They don't have no minimum contacts or nothing. That's true privacy. But what you want to do is claim to be privacy and then be in the public too and find ways to drive faster than the speed limit, get tickets, drive through school zones, kill somebody or something like that, unalive somebody and try to find a way to get out of it. Sell dope and try to get out of it. You trying to have your cake and eat it too. Public and private do not mix. So let's read this real quick. The secure party / creditor. And you know what's so funny? It's so funny that these ignorant people out there, they say there's no such thing as a secure party creditor. The secure party is the creditor, fool. Have you ever looked at a UCC-1? It is a creditor and a debtor. The secured party is the one who has a security interest in the debtor's property. That's what makes him a debtor. He owes some money, and if he doesn't pay the money, the secured party can go and get his collateral. That's why you're called secured, like a secured credit card, and you have an unsecured credit card. A secured credit card is when you put in some money. You can use it, you can use our service, but you're going to use your own money. An unsecured credit card is when they don't have that. So when you're a secured party, you're a party to a transaction and you're secured in the fact that you have a contract with the debtor that states that if the debtor does not perform under said contract, you can come and get his property from him. That makes you the creditor. So I don't know where you got this notion that there's no such thing as a secured party creditor. The secured party is always the creditor. Somebody say Amish got a state ID. How you know every Amish got a state ID? They might not. I don't know that. You don't know that either. Some of them, you got that new generation that is drifting away from the old ways like y'all doing in society now. Y'all got LGBTQ. You talking about my body, my choice, but what you really talking about, you want a right to kill, unalive your own children. You just, but it's just things like, yeah, there's a new generation coming. There is a new generation coming. We need to talk about that too. Okay, somebody said, to the best of my knowledge, the process is basically used to have a lien against your property so no one else can have a senior lien and offset public debts by giving interest to your bond that's with the Treasury. That is correct. And I'm going to expound on that. But that's a very, very good take on what it is. But we're going to get a little more in depth than that so you can get an understanding of it. So it says the secure party creditor process is designed to safeguard personal privacy and reduce unnecessary exposure to public scrutiny, particularly when conducting commercial activities within the public domain. It is not intended to challenge government authority, assert jurisdictional claims, or advance theories such as the so-called right to travel. Rather, it represents a legal and administrative framework that acknowledges the shift away from substance-backed currency as reflected in House Joint Resolution 192 of June 5th, 1933. I don't know how right to travel people got mixed up with secure party. I don't know why there's always some Moorish people in secure party trying to peddle nationality to all the members of the group. It has nothing to do with it. They're two different, distinctly different things. The process serves as a means for individuals to gain a clearer understanding of the structure and function of the public financial and legal systems, allowing them to engage more effectively and responsibly without entering into adversarial proceedings. This is where acceptance for value came from. A lot of you out there, y'all want to challenge jurisdiction. Secure party don't have nothing to do with challenging jurisdiction. Nothing. I know the reason you hear me talk, I'm going to tell you what happened to me. When I first started, I was only teaching acceptance for value, but it was so many people wanted to challenge jurisdiction and I understood how to do it that I got lost in the sauce too. I always talking about challenging jurisdiction. When one of my rules is stay out of public controversy. Stay out of public controversy. But, so many people want to challenge jurisdiction and that's the wrong thing to do. All the gurus know it. Gene Keating, if you read the Gene Keating transcript, he'd call y'all fools for going in there trying to challenge jurisdiction because all the people go to jail and it never works. We're going to talk about that. The process serves as a means for individuals to gain a clearer understanding of the structure and function of the public financial and legal systems, allowing them to engage more effectively and responsibly without entering into adversarial proceedings. By lawfully reclaiming equitable title to the labor and value associated with the juristic persona, one may distinguish between their private and public capacities, thereby minimizing personal liability while maintaining honorable conduct in the public arena. All right, remember, one of the rules is staying honored at all costs. This is how to move in the public. See, the thing what y'all want to do, you gotta understand public and private don't mix. They have something called the public rights doctrine. The public has rights. Y'all walk around and act like the public don't got no rights. The public is here because we have a constitution for the United States of America. That's the public document. If you're a private individual, the Constitution don't have anything to do with you. The Constitution is a document that forms government and restrains government. It enumerates what their powers are and the ambit of their delegated authority. That's what it does. They threw a Bill of Rights in there to further restrict them, so they tell you what they can't do further, but it don't have anything to do with you. It is a declaration. It is a trust indenture agreement to them, not you. You don't have constitutional rights. You have constitutionally protected rights because your rights existed before the Constitution. You have substantive rights. You have unalienable rights. You have God-given rights. That didn't come from a piece of paper. Some people don't understand that. A lot of people don't understand that. All right. So this secure party process was developed as a way where you can still move in the public. That's why I sat there and said, if you're really private, you ain't got to file no paperwork. You don't have to do nothing. Get your land, get you some allodial land. Hopefully it's on a well or by some water. Grow your own food. Get your electricity from the sun. You got solar panels now. That's a private individual. You have to file no paperwork. This is the land of the free. They'll leave you alone. Unless they need to build a highway through your property or something. But other than that, they'll leave you alone because you know private property cannot be taken without due process of law and just compensation. And to take private property, they need what is called a compelling public interest. You need to look up compelling public interest test. That's in the Constitution. So, what is the next area of what the secured party process is for? Well, number 2, competency in conducting your commercial affairs. One of the primary things and the reasons all this is occurring is because of what happened in 1933 with the Great Depression. What happened in 1933 is the American people demonstrated that they were incompetent in handling their own commercial affairs. They had to go to the government and ask for help. When the government, we paid the government salary. Wasn't no borrowing and everything going on and all this. We paid their salary. So the question was, well, how are we going to take care of them when they take care of us? So they came up with an idea and called it the New Deal. And the deal is this. Okay, we'll take all your gold and silver since y'all don't know how to handle it. Y'all sovereigns, y'all don't know what to do with it. It's wasting away in your pockets, as Paul Warburg said. Give us that, give me that, and we'll give you some monopoly money. We're going to create a new jurisdiction in our territory. We got the delegated authority to do that under Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17. It's called a plenary power as a result of separation of powers of the different branches of government. Any territory of the United States, we have plenary power over. So we're going to bring you into Washington, D.C., which is a territory of the United States. We're going to make you a franchise of it. And we're going to give you a franchise number and call it a social security number. And anytime you want to interact with us, you need to have that number on you. And we will provide you benefits and privileges. Fuck your rights. You didn't know what to do with them anyway. You didn't know what to do with them. You had land. You had land. The United States of America was an agricultural country before the advent of cities. We built them goddamn cities and you ran your ass up in there, left all that land your ancestors had, put liens against it, and did all kind of shit and gave that shit to us. What you talking about? Somebody took your land. We were defending our land with guns. What happened? Nobody took shit from you. You gave that shit away. For just like Esau, for a bowl of porridge to get a job in the city. All right. So, competency in conducting your own commercial affairs. The secured party / creditor process serves as a means to demonstrate legal and financial competence. By gaining a working knowledge of the Uniform Commercial Code, principles, and asserting creditor status, individuals may enhance their ability to manage personal and commercial affairs with greater authority and strategic insight, particularly in areas involving debt and contractual obligations. While this process is not a universal remedy for all legal challenges, it does offer a broader perspective on the legal system and introduces alternative remedies that are not commonly known or easily accessible. I had to put that caveat in there because I don't want you to think this shit is easy. Because see, a lot of y'all get sold dreams out there. And y'all come to me with the dream. What's the magic words I can say to get out of this? You know, they like to preference everything. Yusuf, how can I get out of this? Y'all know I fucked up. I know that I was incompetent. I know that I was irresponsible. I know I was immoral. But how can I get out of this? And it's your fault if I can't, nigga. Your fault, Yusuf. Yusuf is scamming everybody. Yeah, I fucked up. Yeah, I didn't pay my mortgage. Yeah, I didn't pay my car note. Yeah, it was my fault my children got taken from me. Yeah, I went out there selling dope and got a commercial charge. And now I'm looking at 15 years. But you said you could help me, Yusuf, and if you can't, you a scam. Can you read this right here? I ain't reading all that shit. I'm going to go look for somebody that'll tell me what to do. Because you ain't nothing but gatekeeping. The secured party creditor process serves as a means to demonstrate legal and financial competence. By gaining a working knowledge of uniform commercial code principles and asserting creditor status, individuals may enhance their ability to manage personal and commercial affairs with greater authority and strategic insight. Particularly in areas involving debt and contractual obligations, while this process is not a universal remedy for all legal challenges, it does offer a broader perspective on the legal system and introduces alternative remedies that are not commonly known or easily accessible. So what's the third reason for becoming a secured party? Protection from public predators. Now this is an important one, and I don't think a lot of people understand why they developed the secured party process. And this is one of the main reasons why it was for asset protection. Okay, because, let me explain, listen closely. The key to everything they're doing was the removal of the gold. The removal of the gold took away privacy. Because once you had gold and silver, you could conduct your affairs without government intervention in any way. Wasn't any taxes because everything was an exchange. It was money of exchange. Now you have money of account and they are taxing you on that. All right, but when we had gold and silver, nobody was in our business. You could conduct your affairs any way that you desired. It was the epitome of freedom. They took the gold and silver and gave us debt-backed currency. Now, debt is being used as money. So everybody's looking for a way to create debt. And how you do that is by having a security interest in property called a lien. Because that's what's going to give value. A lot of you fools out there think that you could just create a negotiable instrument that's not backed by anything and somebody's going to take it. Well, it's called a negotiable instrument for a reason, okay? Like some people, they come to me. Like, yeah, guys, I hope they're listening right now. They say, Yusuf, they came to me serious about this too. I think they were trying to be sarcastic, but they said, since there isn't any money, I have some clients and they were wondering if they could pay you with a bill of exchange. Now I wanted to cuss this motherfucker out. I wanted to cuss him out. I'm like, are you serious? First of all, HCR 192 of June 5th, 1933 is for the government. They're the ones that monetize negotiable instruments. That's number one. Number two, none of these processes are made for purchases. You can't purchase goods and services with any of these processes. I don't know how many times I have to say it, but motherfuckers, they still try to do it in the first place. They still try to do it. It's for set off of debt. That's all it's for. It's not to pay for a goddamn thing. I can't get it out your mind. You're just gonna have it in your mind and say whatever you want, all right? But at least I'm on video saying this shit, so if when your dumb ass gets arrested, you can't blame me and say, Yusuf told me this. Because I said, oh no, motherfucker, go back to my video on May 27, 2025 that I had at 3 p.m. where I told your stupid ass that you can't buy shit with this and it wasn't for purchasing goods and services. It was strictly for set off of public obligations. And in no way can you use it in the private period unless you can negotiate it. And the only person that's going to take a negotiable instrument that doesn't have security behind it is a goddamn fool. You ain't getting none of that off. It's people been trying to get off negotiable instruments behind the scene all over the planet for years. that ain't collateralized properly. I'm here to save you some time. If you don't have some collateral that the person you're trying to negotiate with is willing to accept, you're wasting your time. To go out there and make up some shit. Y'all just making up shit. And these videos are getting more ridiculous. I'm going to do some video reviews of individuals going into court trying to use these products. It's just getting more ridiculous. They having a field day making videos. Look at this dumb motherfucker. They getting popcorn. Look at this dumbass nigga. Look at him coming into court. Watch what he do. Making a mockery. You in there reading off. If you're trying to do this process and you're reading off of a piece of paper, you need to leave the shit alone. This ain't for you. You ain't ready to do this. Get an attorney. You're better off. If you're looking at some serious time and you ain't really taking this serious, get an attorney. I was looking at serious time. Let me tell you the mindset you have to be. If you're looking at anything like 10 years and up and you want to use this process, okay, a couple of things. Ain't no more TV. There's no more TV. And I mean it whether you're in jail or free. You're supposed to be spending all your time memorizing everything you need to say, understanding the principles that underlie what you are trying to say, knowing what your rights are, understanding how to put a pleading together, understanding rules of court. Those are things you should be trying to do. But I ain't never seen nobody take it serious like that. I know somebody helping somebody right now. He got a dope charge. You're looking at 15 years. This nigga in jail. And nigga in there doing Texas Hold'em and shit like, he ain't reading this shit. They think that, this is what they think. They think, oh, I'm going to get this information. I'm going to immediately get released. No, you're not. You're not going to get immediately released. You got to get back in court. The judge wants to talk to you to see, listen, if paperwork could get somebody out of prison, everybody would do it. I'd be rich. I had to check somebody in my group today. They're like, well, I wouldn't do that. I said, motherfucker, you ain't got no process that works 100% of the time. And if you say you do, you a motherfucking lie. You a goddamn lie. Because if you did, you'd be rich because everybody on planet Earth would be coming to your ass. And you goddamn right you should charge. I would not give no shit like that away for free. Something that works 100% of the time. I just give it to you, works 100% of the time. In the first place, they set the system up where it ain't set up like that in the first damn place. It's set up where they can evaluate your level of competency. That's why one of the 5 reasons is you got to be able to demonstrate that you are more than competent enough to handle your own commercial affairs. Competency is one of the things that they're looking at. And you're not that. When you have to ask somebody what to do, when you don't know how to draw up your own paperwork, when you don't know how to put together a fucking pleading, you turning in court paperwork and the judge is putting it on the screen like, look at this shit. Look at this bullshit he filed. You don't know what a caption of the pleading is. That's what we're going to be dealing with in SBC University. See, I got a lesson plan. I already know what to teach because I see where everybody's lacking. But you got to be willing to learn. See, I already went through that stage. See, you got a lot of goo dudes out there selling documents. Like they come into my Facebook group and one of the rules is don't come in there selling shit. So when they come in, I immediately kick them out. I'm kicking your ass out. You're not going to get away. I monitor the group every day. We kick people out every fucking day. You get kicked out if you say something slick to me. I'm the owner of the group. Don't say something slick to me. Just ignore me. You can say something slick to anybody else. There's 32,000 people in there. You gonna pick me to say something slick to? I don't even respond. I just kick your ass out. You don't come in my group trying to sell shit, motherfucker. This is my group, okay? I got a school. I'm teaching this. Fuck what you trying to sell. Get the fuck out. Don't come in here with that shit. I'm putting you out. No warning. When you post shit that you ain't verified. What the fuck is this? Crazy stuff. I might not put you out on that, but I'm taking it down and I'm issuing you a warning. If you do the shit 2 more times, I'm putting you out without a warning. I'm serious about this. I'm trying to put an end to this bullshit. It's a lot of bullshit being, it ain't got crazy. It's a circus. It's a circus. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, the things you hear people say. We might go over into my forum and read some stuff. I ain't even read this stuff over there. We'll just go over there and just look. I haven't even read anything. I ain't even prepped myself. We can just go over there and look. I guarantee you some crazy ass shit somebody done posted. They ask something like, I'll give you an example, how people think. My boyfriend is in jail for a life sentence. How can I get him out? You're going to get 100 responses. Not one single motherfucker will ask, what did he do? Not one. Not one single person is going to say, what did he do? And you know what? This is a real scenario. He killed someone. So you think you're going to use a commercial process to get a remedy for a common law violation? You done offended the creator, the bounty. You got to be a fucking heathen if you think that. You think you'll take somebody's life and pay a bill and get out of jail with a negotiable instrument? Let me tell you something. They're going to pull out all stops to make sure that never happens for you. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible, but you're going to go through a lot of shit to make sure that happens, and it's going to be in some years. You're going to do some years in there before you get out. It ain't going to be no, oh, I filed some GSA bonds and I got out, in 6 months. That's just not happening. You take a life. It's not happening. Because you don't understand, you're not warring with a commercial process, you're warring with karma. But you don't believe in that, do you? So let's look at this protection from public predators. Now, you heard me just talk about the creation of money is why everybody's trying to put charges on you. Everybody's looking for a way to make money. And when I mean make money, I mean literally make money, create money out of thin air. Money is created when you create a debt obligation. This is why the banks are always trying to get you to take out a personal loan. We'll loan you this, because they're trying to create paper. You know when they're really desperate because they start having all these deals and everything, that means they need an influx of cash. So they're going to create the paper, discount the paper, and go sell it on the market so they can get some money. But they need a signature on an obligation to make that happen. So there are voluntary ways that you could put a lien on your property and involuntary ways, like a charge on property when the court gives you a charge. This is the reason they call the court a bank, because they are involved in the process of making money too by putting charges or liens against people's estates in the form of statutory charges. But they're all involved in the same thing, creation of money. That's all banks do. Banks create money through loans. They're creating negotiable paper that is collateralized, that has value on the markets. All right. So let's keep going. Protection from public predators. The secure party creditor process is essentially a strategy rooted in the Uniform Commercial Code to protect one's personal assets and estate from the claims of external entities. Now, notice we said personal assets. This is something else I can't seem to get through to people. You don't put real estate in the UCC commercial chamber. That's what the real estate records are for. So you have a real property chamber and a personal property chamber. The UCC is the personal property chamber. The realist property chamber is the real estate records. They both accomplish the same thing. They're keeping track of a priority interest in property, whether real or personal. They're keeping a track of priority interest with liens. You got anybody out there, listen, if you've done a first or second mortgage, or you're a mortgage broker, or you work for a bank, you know what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, it's a lot of people that don't understand priority of liens. They don't understand it. It's one of the most important things in life to understand because everything is involved in it. Why do you think the bank does a title search before they'll give you a loan on a house? They got to make sure they're first in line, first in time, that there's no clouds on title, all right? That there are no outstanding obligations existing or somebody claiming an interest in the property because they won't be first in line, first in time. The first in line, first in time gets all the money. Everybody else junior to that get what's left over. If anything is left over. So that's a tenuous position to be in when you're a junior to someone. So the secured party / creditor process is essentially a strategy rooted in the Uniform Commercial Code, UCC, to protect one's personal assets and estate from the claims of external entities, often seen as predators like the government, creditors, or corporations. This approach is tied to ideas surrounding the creation of money in the public system and how that system functions, particularly under a fiat currency system introduced in 1933 under the New Deal program authored by President Franklin D. Roosevelt. I'm pretty good with the writing, boy. I was in the zone when I was doing all this right here. Breakdown of key concepts: fiat currency and national debt. The U.S. operates under a fiat currency system, meaning the dollar is not backed by a physical commodity like gold or silver, but rather the trust in the U.S. government, the U.S. full faith and credit of the United States. That's what your money backed by, the labor of the American people, essentially. They pledge in your labor because everything else has already been pledged. They pledged all the property in the country, everything else. Why everything is registered property because there's nothing left. The only thing left to give was the people. So the U.S. operates under a fiat currency system, meaning the dollar is not backed by a physical commodity like gold or silver, but rather the trust in the U.S. government. The national debt is essentially a promise to pay back money that the government borrows to fund its operations. Through a process called novation, the unwary U.S. citizen volunteers his personal labor to serve as surety for the repayment of the national debt. In exchange for this borrowed money, liens are often placed on the property of U.S. citizens which serve as collateral. And this novation is when you exchange one debtor for another. So the U.S. went into debt to the Federal Reserve. And through the process of novation, they made the U.S. debt your debt. Because as a private citizen, you didn't have anything to do with that debt. But according to the New Deal, let's make a deal. I'll make a deal with you. If you agree to be surety for this money we're going to borrow, we'll go there and borrow some trillions of dollars and give it to Israel. We'll go over there and borrow trillions of dollars and fund money under the table. Doge just exposed them like, it was like cockroaches. That they were doing stuff that was so ridiculous, they had to think they never gonna get caught. It was so ridiculous what they were doing. I would be fighting back too because they all need to go to prison. That's the only thing that makes me think the Trump administration may be kind of flaky. That's the only thing because these people need to go to prison. Now, they did come out and say that they can't follow the money, but somebody need to go to prison. They're using computer systems from the 1960s and 70s. But spending billions of dollars on toilet paper, millions of dollars on sex change operations down in down in South America. So understand what a novation is. A novation. Liens as collateral for the national debt. This is one of the more controversial aspects of the process. When citizens engage in commerce, like using currency, taking out loans, or paying taxes, they're indirectly putting their property at risk to serve as collateral for this debt. You got something called the statute merchant. What is the statute merchant? Let's pull that up real quick. What is the statute merchant? Let me see if I can pull it up. I'm going to pull this up. Statute merchant. Oh, here it is right here. I want you to write that word down, statute merchant. What the hell is going on with my... All right, statute merchant. Okay, oh man, didn't... Where are the damn dictionaries? Dang. Okay, here they go right here. All right, let me open this up. I got to read this to you because y'all need to understand what a statute merchant. This go back to 1100 under Edward I. All right. Statute merchant. Let's read this carefully. Statute merchant. One of two 13th century statutes establishing procedures to better secure and recover debts by, among other things, providing for a commercial bond. Now, I want to focus on this word commercial bond. I want you to, if you have a criminal case, especially if a federal case, I want you to look at your docket sheet. I want you to see if you can locate the word commercial bond in any of your paperwork. That's going to be right there to tell you that this is what this is. You're going to see it. I saw it in mine. I want you to concentrate on this word commercial bond if you have a criminal case. Providing for a commercial bond that if not timely paid, this is the purpose of doing the GSA bonds. The GSA bonds are so you can offset this commercial bond that they have. That commercial bond, a bond is a promise. It's the evidence of a debt. So this is the debt collection, and that's what admiralty is, civil. It's a debt collection. So this bond that you're trying to redeem, because that's the only way you're going to get somebody out of jail is you got to redeem the bond. That if not timely paid, notice we have timely paid, resulted in swift execution of the lands, goods, and body of the debtor. Now, I want you to look at this second sense of the word. The commercial bond so established. What does that mean? I want you to get your paperwork. I want you to look for that term, commercial bond. Never forget that. Let's look at some expert commentary. It is not a little remarkable that our common law knew no process whereby a man could pledge his body or liberty for payment of a debt. Under Edward I, the tide turned. In the interest of commerce, not your nationality, a new form of security, the so-called statute merchant, was invented, which gave the creditor power to demand the seizure and imprisonment of the debtor's body. Now, after reading this, you need to go and study admiralty, study the clerk's practice, and see the process of arresting someone. It goes exactly what they're talking about right here. This is why I don't never get up off secure party. I don't get off secure party not because I'm stubborn. I don't get off of it because I'm studying. And I know that everybody else out there don't read shit. They don't study history. They don't look up words. They don't look up shit. Okay, let's get back to our reading. So we just got through talking about a novation. These are all vocabulary words. We got novation. We have commercial bond. We got statute merchant. So liens as collateral for national debt. This is one of the more controversial aspects of the process. When citizens engage in commerce, like using currency, taking out loans, or paying taxes, they are indirectly putting their property at risk as collateral for this debt. These liens are often not visible to most individuals, but they have a profound effect on one's assets and can be used against them in times of legal or financial stress. Do you know a maritime lien is an invisible lien? Look it up. I'm not going to look up everything today. I'm going to make y'all do some work. Secured party creditor process. The secured party is someone who has established a perfected security interest in property. Okay, I want you to write down the word perfected. What does the word perfected mean? It means that you've taken the necessary steps procedurally to secure a claim on property where you are first in line, first in time. It's called a perfected security interest in property. That's a word that is very important for you to understand. Perfected. So the secured party is someone who's established a perfected security interest in a property or asset under the UCC. By doing this, they place themselves in a senior position to all of the claimants, such as the IRS, other creditors, or even individuals. Now, you have something called a priority perfected of collateral. Now, sometimes tax liens take precedence over other liens. You have to address it. That's why you have to honorably meet all of your obligations. You don't want to be an absconding debtor. I want you to write that word down, a absconding debtor. An absconding debtor. This is not working. Let's see. Okay. All right, so let's go to the next one. Okay. The liens are often not visible to most individuals, but they can have a profound effect on one's assets and can be used against them in times of legal or financial distress. Secured party creditor process. The secured party is someone who has established a perfected security interest in a property or asset under the UCC. By doing this, they place themselves in a senior position to all of the claimants, such as the IRS, other creditors, or even other individuals. This means that if anyone attempts to seize the property, the secured party / creditor is in the first position to claim it, effectively insulating the individual from outside legal and financial threats. Straw man theory. The concept of the straw man refers to the idea that there is a legal fiction or artificial person created when an individual is born, often in the form of a birth certificate or social security number. This straw man is used to interact with the public system and carry out legal obligations. By assuming the role of secured party / creditor, the individual purportedly takes control of this legal fiction, thus placing himself in a position where they are not liable for the actions or obligations associated with it. So in other words, we're shifting liability. This is what it's all about too in the public liability. Ownership equals liability. That's why you don't want to put anything in your name. Ownership equals liability. So it's best not to own anything. Own nothing, control everything. It's not about ownership, it's about control. You don't care if the car is in your name. You just want to be care if you can drive it whenever you want to. I don't care if the car is in my business name or my name. Can I drive it whenever I want to? That's all I care about. Asset protection. The key idea behind using the secured party process is to place one's assets under protection by ensuring a superior claim on those assets. Remember that these predators are out there looking for any collateral they can find that they can put a lien against so they can create negotiable paper to put into circulation. This can be especially valuable when facing potential legal action, predatory collection practices, or even taxes. What do we mean by legal action? Legal action is the statutes are their money. Every statute has statute code violation has associated with it a monetary value. That's how they form the lien. If you got something like possession with the intent to distribute, there is a number that has a value. That charge, that commercial charge has a value. And that value is what is placed on that bond. They don't tell you what it is. That's why you ask. That's why you go into court. Your Honor, I request the Honorable Judge direct the prosecutor to provide the assessment for the charges along with a certified audit trail of all transactions, including vouchers, as well as all disbursement documents and receipts that are associated with the claim or charge that he is allegedly, whatever. They won't tell you nothing if you don't ask. If you don't ask, they presume you don't care. What are the legal key concepts behind all of this? Now, the Uniform Commercial Code, the UCC governs commercial transactions in the U.S. and is a central piece in the secured party process. It provides a framework for creating and enforcing security interests in personal property, including real estate. I need to take that out. It depends on what is included with the real estate, equipment, and even intangibles like accounts receivables. Perfected security interests. This is the process by which a secured creditor, the secured party, establishes priority over claims to an asset. The secured interest must be perfected to ensure the creditor has the highest legal claim. Everything is about claims. What are you claiming? And then do you have proof of claim? Can you prove what you're claiming? Some of you are like some of these Christians. You got a lot of Christians out there who say, I was called before God. You ever hear Christians say that? I was called before God. I was called before God. All right, let me see all you Bible thumpers out there. Let's see what Jesus say about that. Let's see what did Jesus say about you people talking about you were called before God? Many are called, but few are chosen. I don't give a damn if you was called before God. Were you chosen? They don't read the Bible. That's what you have in this, and it's the same shit that's going on in the Christian church is going on in the redemptionist movement. These are a whole bunch of zealots, religious nut job zealots who never pick up their book and read it. They go off what they believe to be right and how they feel about some shit. Because a lot of the men raised by their mama, so they operate off feelings, not off logic and reason. Let's keep going. Priority. The UCC establishes the rules of priority for creditors. A creditor with a perfected interest in an asset has a superior claim compared to an unsecured creditor. And this is what I mean about tax liens. They have a certain priority over other liens, mechanics liens. You know, there can be some other type of liens, even though you perfected in a certain kind of way that can take priority over other liens. So you got to be aware of that as well. Man, the UCC is nothing but instructions to how to conduct business. I'm in here, I'm putting together a lesson plan to teach on, man, this thing that I'm putting together, it is so in-depth. I'm going to be teaching from it for about 6 weeks. I'm going to make sure y'all understand the UCC, because what stays in my mind is when Gene Keating said one time, he said he never met anybody who read the UCC, and I see that he's telling the truth. I'm in a secure party forum, almost nobody posts nothing about the UCC. There's 32,000 people in there. Almost nobody posts no, you'll hear nobody say, well, this is UCC. All they know is UCC 1308. That's it. That's it. Let me stop. What about UCC 1308? Can I put that on my driver's license, Yusuf? If I put that on driver's license, will I not get no more tickets no more? They don't have no jurisdiction over me no more. Now, I placed in here also the potential issues of criticism, because I am writing a book. Complexity and risk. The secure party creditor process is a complicated legal strategy that requires a solid understanding of the UCC and how it applies to your situation. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution, and there may be legal risk or unintended consequences if not executed correctly. Legal recognition. The idea of using the secure party process to separate oneself from the straw man and avoid liability is not universally accepted in legal circles. While some people have used it successfully, courts may not always recognize it, and those who attempt to use it ineffectively as a defense may still face legal action. See, I'm not going to sell you no dream, because I've been through this. Why would I sell you a dream? I'm never going to say, oh yeah, you do this and all your problems are solved. I'm not going to sell you no dream. Nothing in life is easy worth having. Nothing. Public policy and government response. The government and other entities may view the secure party process in an attempt to evade responsibility, namely taxes. That's the main thing. And it's not to evade taxes. It's just that we want to satisfy the obligation with a negotiable instrument. But you want me to use Federal Reserve notes. So what you are doing, if you're the government, you're listening, you ain't nothing but slave drivers. You want us to stay in slavery, because the Bible clearly tells you the debtor is enslaved to the creditor. So you want me to be enslaved, where there's no law that tells me I have to pay a debt back with a specific species of currency. That's the key that they don't want y'all to understand. That right there. The government and other entities may view the secured party process as an attempt to evade responsibility, particularly when it comes to paying taxes or honoring debts. As such, individuals who attempt to use the process may face increased scrutiny regardless of the lawfulness of the process. All right, so number 4, another reason for becoming a secured party is assisting our government in reducing the national debt. A lot of people don't understand this. The reason that debt clock, U.S. debt clock keeps turning, because that is all the people in the country doing transactions, and it never stops. You've been over to usdebtclock.org? Well, you're using Federal Reserve notes. You're using debt currency. You got to start using credit-backed currency. to offset the public obligations. The idea extends the secured party creditor process into the realm of managing and potentially reducing personal financial obligations in relation to the government, with the goal of relieving the government's financial burden. This aspect of the process hinges on the notion that individuals can take control of their juristic persona, the straw man, and its associated debt instruments like social security numbers, birth certificates, etc., and use their equitable interests to offset or discharge public obligations. Here's how this works conceptually. All right, so now I'm going to go into different processes. Now, there's not a one specific process that's better than all of them. There's only processes that follow principles. And if you can identify the principles, then it's a good process. So, for instance, let me see if I can put this in an example. So some people like to use an affidavit of tax exempt status. But an affidavit of tax exempt status and a Moorish nationality document kind of serve the same purpose because you're asserting a private status. See, to be tax exempt, you got to be private. There aren't any taxes in the private. Tax is only in public. That's why you need a CPA, a certified public accountant, because tax law is in the public. There is no tax law in the private. So if you're wholly private, operating privately, you don't worry about taxes. You only worry about taxes if you engage the public and create a tax obligation. Now you have a duty to report it because you left the private and came into the public. Reclaiming title to our equitable interests, all right? In a typical fiat currency system, individuals are seen as debtors in relation to the government, with their labor being one of the primary means of repayment for public obligations, namely taxes, fines, and fees. By controlling their juristic persona, the straw man, a person can theoretically manage how their labor is applied to these obligations, potentially relieving them of financial liability. Equitable interest refers to ownership or claim to the value generated by your labor, property, or other assets, but seen from an equitable perspective, not just a legal one. It's not looked at statutory. This is why equity is your, you find your remedy in equity. In traditional legal terms, one might be viewed as a debtor, but if you can reclaim your equitable interest in your labor, you can position yourself as a creditor instead of a debtor, controlling the flow of debt instruments rather than having them used against you. Now, how do you manage your relationship with the government? This is one of the reasons why you're coming through with a process. Like the first step in the process is you're not trying to discharge any debt. You're just sending all of your status documents, because the reason you have to be private is because there's substance in the private. The public is corrupt. There isn't any substance to back a negotiable instrument. That's why they need signatures. They need signatures on everything because real living souls give substance to negotiable instruments. You can't have a legal fiction back a negotiable instrument. It has to be a real living soul, someone capable of performing labor. Well, I'm very happy for all the people who was here today. Now, I've been gone for a long time. I'm going to tell you what I would appreciate. Somebody going to talk bad about me because I'm going to say this, but where are the donations? Y'all didn't miss me? I need to leave again. I mean, like it's $6.90. Where are the donations? No donations, huh? You can join, you don't have to give a donation. You can join the website, $49.99, and come to this seminar this weekend and find out whether or not you want to ride this thing out with me. All right. I'm giving you 1 month. Give me 1 month for you to see if you want to ride this thing out with me. Give me 1 month. That's all I'm asking for. 1 month. All 300 of you need to join today. You won't have to give me no donations. Just go over there and join. All right. Don't ever say you're broke. You're broke because look how you talk. You know how long it's been since I have said I'm broke? I don't think I've called myself broke in 20 years. I've never said that. That word, let me tell you something, man. You should, that word, when that word flies off your tongue, man, you should get ill. You should, when you hear somebody else say it, you should want to get away from them like they sneeze and they got motherfucking, like a virus or something like that. That's how bad that word is. You got to respect the power of words. Don't ever talk to yourself in a negative fashion. Let me say this. You know why people hate Donald Trump? Because he never talks negative about himself. He's full of confidence in everything that he does, and all he does is keep winning. He's been winning ever since he was young. He became a billionaire, real estate deals. He's in more rap songs probably than any other white rich person on the planet. And he went all the way to become the president of the United States, and I just got through traveling all through Europe, and everybody respect him over there. Probably except in Amsterdam, because they're the most liberal city in Europe, is Amsterdam. Once again, I'm going to repeat it again. We know you can't log in. If you got migrated over, you're going to have to change your password. You have the same user ID, but you're going to have to do a password change request. Other than that, we're going to take care of you. We know. We understand. Please stop telling us you can't log in. This ain't customer service. Hit us on the email. We got you. We already know everybody who can't log in. We're looking at it, and we're taking care of it. All right? Be patient. I don't have any money. It doesn't exist. You got another one. Okay, let me talk about that. Let me see if I can squash this, because guys, they try to be funny. There ain't no money. Listen, there's no gold and silver. That's all that means. There's no gold and silver. That doesn't mean there's not a medium of exchange. See, you broke. See, some of y'all guys, y'all like, dude right here, I don't mean to talk about you, but you don't have any money because you think this shit is funny. It's not funny. It's pathetic what you're doing. You don't understand the power of words. You, not because there's no gold and silver. You're broke, not because the government is fraudulent anything. You broke because you got a poverty mindset. That's the only reason you are broke. If today the system switched back to gold and silver, your ass would still be broke because you think it's funny. You make a joke about it. I'm broke. Ain't no money. And you get mad at me because I just went to Amsterdam, Berlin, Zurich, Switzerland, Barcelona, Venice, Italy, Paris, France, London, England, and Istanbul, Turkey for 30 days, then brought my ass back home. And some of y'all got mad about that shit. You know, you robbing the people or something. No, I'm not. It ain't that. I got the right mentality. You don't ever joke about being broke. You think this shit is funny. You are goofy. Let me tell you something. You are immature. You're immature if you think that's funny. And you should be embarrassed to say it with women around. You should be embarrassed to say that shit. It's women watching you. It's not a joke. You think when you say I'm broke or there's no money or things like that as a joke or trying to be funny, you understand the power of words. There's a cause and effect to everything. You know what the law of correspondence means? It's one of the 7 laws. It means all I have to do is look at your physical condition, or I can look at your words, how you talk, and look at your physical condition, and I can tell what your thoughts are. Because your thoughts correspond to your condition. That's what the law of correspondence is. As above, so below. As above the mental, so below the physical. Solid, liquid, and gas. Thoughts are gas. Spirit is liquid, baptized in the water, and in the physical manifestation. Thoughts become things. You become what you think about all the time. Number one reason why I can never be a Democrat. The number one reason I can never be a victim. It's the number one reason you never hear me blaming the white man, Dr. Umar Johnson. We under systematic racism, and you're going to stay there. Because you don't resolve a problem talking about the problem. You resolve a problem talking about the solution. Don't joke with me about being broke, man. This is why Creflo Dollar, shout out to Creflo Dollar, make y'all motherfuckers fill out tax forms, because he don't want y'all broke bitches in his goddamn church with these goddamn jokes that y'all making right here. Keep your broke ass out. And yes, the things that they are teach are correct. Prosperity preachers, Joel Osteen, Creflo Dollar, they right in what they're teaching. Managing the relationship with the government. The secure party creditor process allows individuals to take control of their juristic persona, which is seen as a legal fiction or straw man created at birth. This fiction is the entity that the government interacts with in a legal or contractual sense. This juristic persona is often referred to as a transmitting utility, as your commercial energy is what gives value to the full faith and credit of the American government. It's called a transmitting utility is for electrical companies. But you are an electrical being with energy. That's what the Matrix movie was trying to tell you. That's why you're calling your straw man a transmitting utility, because you're transmitting energy from the private into the public. That's real money, energy. I appreciate the 1747 peace, God. May I dare ask if you see any function of cryptocurrency as a creditor? Listen, it's just a medium of exchange. If it is an agreed upon medium of exchange, it does. We used to barter. We started out, money system comes from bartering. We used to like chickens, and you had some pigs. I don't eat pigs, but you get my point. I give you 3 chickens for a pig, for a hog. And we do the exchange and it's through. That's money. Then we got currency to facilitate that. That's why it's called a medium of exchange. So cryptocurrency is just a medium of exchange. You can use anything. In jail, they use cigarettes and racks of tuna. You know, hey man, you know, let me, you iron my shirt for me, man. I'll give you a rack of tuna a week. Let's play a card game for 2 racks of tuna. What? That's money. People be in prison at racks of tuna, they don't even eat tuna. They got a whole locker full of tuna, don't even eat it. Because it's money. It's whatever you agree upon. It's called a negotiable instrument. If you can negotiate it, anything can be used. But the only real money is gold and silver. So when I say there is no money, that's what I'm talking about, motherfucker. Not all this dumbass shit that y'all try to come up with. And then the people I'm talking to are the people who deem themselves as intelligent. And you come up with these ridiculous takes on there is no money. And then come to me and talk about, well, you know, can you take a bill of exchange for payment? Can I join your university with a bill of exchange? This is what I tell them now. I say, yes, you can. If you go to get a safekeeping receipt showing that you have on deposit a certain amount of gold payable to me in 30 days, I'll take your bill of exchange. And provide me with the safekeeping receipt. I appreciate the $4.99. J. Coverload. I appreciate that, dog. Appreciate it. Let's keep going. By reclaiming control over this persona, the individual can manage public debt instruments like tax obligations, national debt obligations, etc., that are generated in the name of their straw man. Public debt instruments created in the name of a person, such as a social security numbers, birth certificates, and other forms of state-issued identification, are seen by some as representing the debt obligation of the individual to the state. The claim here is that these instruments are used to secure and trade debts, with the citizens unwittingly caught in the middle. In essence, by becoming a secured party creditor, the individual is taking control of their straw man and, by extension, taking on the role of the creditor in relation to any debt obligations or financial instruments associated with the government's claims against them. The government is bankrupt and can only make colorable claims against its citizens. Now, you got to understand what a colorable claim is and how they are in a colorable system. Colorable means it looks real, but it's not real. All right. And the reason it's colorable because they're using Federal Reserve notes, which are not constitutional money. So everything associated with that Federal Reserve note is colorable, including their court system. They're making colorable claims in a colorable court with colorable money. That's why the courts can be questioned, because for there to be real law, there has to be real gold and silver. But they're not using that because nothing's really being paid for. That's a very important aspect for people to understand. The government is bankrupt. It can only make colorable claims against its citizens. The perspective you're referencing is grounded in the idea that the U.S. government operates under a bankruptcy system, particularly following the Bankruptcy Act of 1933, which some individuals argue has changed the nature of the relationship between citizens and the state. According to this view, the U.S. government itself is considered a bankrupt entity and, therefore, no longer holds the legitimate standing to enforce certain commercial claims or financial obligations against private citizens. This idea challenges traditional legal and governmental structures and is rooted in a particular interpretation of constitutional law, commercial law, and bankruptcy law. The argument, the government is a bankrupt entity. 1933 in the gold standard. Let's talk about that a little bit. What we got? The geek surgeon. I appreciate the 10 bones. Peace to the gods. The energy of exchange is to bless you and the universe. I appreciate it. And Holistic Academy, I appreciate the $9.99. 9 to the 9th power 9. 9 is the highest of all numbers. All numbers go back to 9. Think about it. The 1933 bankruptcy and the gold standard. 1933 is often cited as a pivotal year because during the Great Depression, the U.S. abandoned the gold standard and moved to a fiat currency system. This, according to some, marked the point at which the U.S. government, and by extension the American financial system under the Republican form of government, became insolvent or bankrupt. In the Emergency Banking Act of 1933, the U.S. declared a national emergency and, as part of that, took the country off the gold standard, essentially making the dollar a fiat currency backed by nothing other than the credit of the U.S. government. Many proponents of the bankrupt government theory argued that this action effectively placed the U.S. in a form of bankruptcy. Since that time, the U.S. is seen as operating under Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, though this is a metaphorical interpretation, meaning the government is reorganizing its debt structure and no longer has the financial solvency to back its obligations. It's called receivership, where they're allowed to operate in bankruptcy. They bankrupt. What's that congressman? Trasvant? What's his name? The congressman who said we're in the worst bankruptcy ever, United States. United States is bankrupt. That's the removal of the money. That's why we're doing secure party, because there isn't any money. And the way that they're trying to create money is through the creation of debt. So you got to protect yourself. And how you protect your personal property is by putting a lien against it. When there's already a lien, it's like this. I'll give you an example. Say like you have a house free and clear. It's worth $100,000. So you have $100,000 worth of equity. Okay, the predators that are going to be looking to get that equity out of that house, and they're going to look for ways to do it. One might come to your house and accidentally slip and fall, and then file a lawsuit against you. And when the lawsuit, find out that you have a house free and clear, and then get a judicial order to come and take that house, or to take whatever interest in that house they can get. Now, let's suppose you did something different. Let's suppose that you put the house in a trust and then put a lien against it, or put a form of trust and have a trust put a lien against the house. Now, when they go down into the real estate records, and the trust is your trust, by the way, and they look and see, damn, we can't get this. There's already a lien. That's asset protection. That's what you're doing with the secure party process. That's all you're doing. Preventing them from coming to try to put a lien, because that's what the game is all about, putting liens against property so they can create negotiable paper that they can discount and trade on the markets, because that's how they create money. Everybody's looking for a way to create money. To create money in a debt system, you got to create debt. Debt today has to be securitized or collateralized. Okay, I'm back on. All right. Okay, y'all, let me do this. I had some technical issues. So I'm gonna end this live right now, but I'm gonna come back on tonight at about 8 o'clock, all right? I'm gonna set it up, and we're gonna do it tonight at 8 o'clock. I gotta run and do some things real quick, but I want y'all to pay attention to this. I'm gonna put this document, a link to it in the description. I want you to read it and critique it. I'm writing this. I'm writing a book is what I'm doing right now. I'm just taking all my articles and I'm putting it on my website, and I'm gonna make a book out of it. And I'm gonna put do some other things with it too. But I see that I have to do this because it's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. Anyway, peace to the gods. I will see y'all on the next live. Just stay tuned tonight. I'll be back on tonight, all right? I gotta go. Peace.